Hello there, I'm Sophie, a harpist from Live Music Now Scotland, and today I'll be performing a concert programme of solo harp works for the National Gallery of Scotland's Dementia Friendly Concert Series. Now usually this concert series would take place in the gallery itself, and we'd all be surrounded by the fantastic artwork that inspired the programme today. However, unfortunately this is not the case, but I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to see some of the art before deciding what I would play for today's programme. And the theme of today is the stories from the ballet, and so all the artwork involved is dance related. And it's been an absolute pleasure to look at these pieces of work and find pieces that I really feel convey the mood and the imagery of the artwork. So thank you so much to the National Gallery of Scotland for asking me to do so. It's been absolutely brilliant. The first piece of art that I was really drawn to was the photograph by Murdo MacLeod named Dancing Class. Now, I always smile when I think of dance classes because when I was younger I did used to attend and I was really awful, but it didn't deter from the just pure enjoyment and fun of those dance classes. And retrospectively, I look at them with a real fondness because they were just so much fun regardless of how good or bad you were. It was just great fun. And I decided to pair this photograph with a set of delightful preludes by a French composer, Marcel Tournier. Marcel Tournier was born in the 1800s, and not only was he a French composer, but he was also a very prominent harpist. He composed many works for the instrument, but he also taught many harpists and composers at the Paris Conservatoire, which was a very highly esteemed place to be, particularly then. It still is now, but particularly in that period in the early 1900s where a lot of works were written for the harp by French composers, and it was really huge. A huge amount of it was down to the tutorage of this harpist, Marcel Tournier. So today I'm going to perform the first and third of his Quatre Preludes, his 4 preludes that he composed in 1903. And the reason I felt they really suited this particular piece of work was they hold the same kind of feeling of just complete joy and delight in them. They're really just lovely pieces to listen to and to play. So I hope you enjoy the first and third preludes by Marcel Tournier. Marcel Tourneu's Prelude number 1 and Prelude number 3. So going from our first French composer of today, I'm now going to go to our French artist that is being showcased. This is Edgar Degas. He was a very prominent artist in the late 1800s and really part of the French Impressionist movement. He also had a huge fascination with dancers, and what I found interesting was in the description of his sculpture Arabesque, it mentions that he used to visit the opera house in Paris very frequently to go and look at the dancers. But I hope that while fascinated by the dancers, perhaps he enjoyed a spot of opera at the opera house as well. And so I wanted to incorporate a piece of French opera into our concert today. It is one that you may very well have heard before. It's usually played on the flute, but I love that I get the chance to play it too. And it is the entr'acte from the third act of Georges Bizet's Carmen. Georges Bizet's entr'acte from his opera Carmen. When looking at some art by a French Impressionist artist, it really dawned on me to incorporate a work by a composer of the same era, and probably one of the most famous Impressionist composers of them all. I chose a work by Claude Debussy. His works are just fantastic, and while many of them were written for the piano, they have been transcribed for the harp, and I have to say I really love the sound of them on the instrument, so it's a real joy to have the chance to play them. When I was looking at Degas' work, one of the paintings was a group of dancers, and to me it looks like they're all in a class together. And when I think of a class of ballet dancers, I often think of it as a very calm, serene and elegant place, and I really wanted to reflect that with the music I chose today. So I chose what is a very calm and serene piece by Debussy. It is La Fille aux Cheveux Blancs, which is the girl with the flaxen hair. Debussy's La Fille aux Cheveux de Lin, The Girl with the Flaxen Hair. So I'm now going to perform another work by a French harpist actually, Alphonse Hasselmann. This piece is called Gitana, which translates to gypsy in English. And for me, this piece really conveys a sense of dance. It's a caprice, which is a solo piece which is meant to be very, very energetic and very showy. And for me, it really does, it just shows this really energetic gypsy dance. And when I saw Degas' painting before the performance, this piece really resonated for me with all the bright colours used in the oil paintings, all the vibrancy, and that really translated to high energy for me. I think another reason that I always associate this piece with dance is my granddad has a fantastic saying that he loves to say at any occasion he can, which is every gypsy has their own way of dancing. And so my automatic reaction is to think of gypsies having their own dance. So this is Alphonse Hasselmann's Gitana. final piece today, and before I go, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the National Gallery of Scotland for commissioning this concert. It is such a joy to still find a way to perform for you all, even if it can't be quite in person just yet. And also a huge thank you to Live Music Now Scotland. The last piece of artwork we're going to have a look at is a portrait by KK Dundas of a ballet dancer called Lucy Ireland, who was originally born in Edinburgh. She was born in 1991 and has had a very, very successful career since then. She has been involved in a production of Sunshine on Leith, performed as part of the Barrowland Ballets and also as part of the Scottish Ballet. And because of this, because of her being such a traditional ballet dancer, I wanted to finish with a piece of traditional classic ballet music. And because it mentioned that she had been part of the Scottish Ballet, it really made me think. I was really looking forward to seeing Scottish Ballet perform this year, as at Christmas time they were going to do a performance of Swan Lake. So I thought, what better way to end today's concert than with such a fantastic piece of music. So I'll leave you with the theme from Swan Lake by Tchaikovsky.